Well, hello, Internet. You have asked me, how much should I charge for a speech? Lots of people ask me, how much should they charge for a speech? They hear the fees that I get and they wonder, hey, can I get that too? What about this situation? What about that situation? That is the topic of our video today. Stick around to learn how much you should charge for a professional speech. We will be consulting the Holy Bible of Getting Speaking Gigs. Of course, the book called Get Speaking Gigs by yours truly. It's a little bit much, the Holy Bible, but I will tell you this. There is a chart in this book for how much to charge for which situations. And this was brought up to me yesterday during one of my favorite kinds of coaching calls. When they say to me, okay, Tim, everything's working. The leads are coming in. What now? How do I send proposals and invoices and contracts, agreements? How do I do all of the things to take all of the money? And oh my gosh, what do I charge? That is absolutely my favorite kind of conversation to have. And the truth is, there are a lot of moving parts when setting a speaking fee. Now, the beauty is it is not just a matter of which number you throw out. What matters is the process you take them through. What matters is how you are positioned in the marketplace as a speaker. There are a lot of factors behind the number itself. Now, not the least of which is your own mindset and belief. You can't sell somebody something at a price that you don't even believe it's worth, right? There's just no ifs, ands, or buts about that, which is why I believe Dan Kennedy was the one who said, your fee is the highest number that you can say with a straight face. The highest number you can say with a straight face. I love that piece of advice in terms of, the actual mindset. But let's get practical. Let's get tactical. Is it just a matter of confidence and belief? Well, listen, I will tell you this. When I started quoting my fee at $20,000 for a speech, a big part of being able to say that with a straight face was books that I have written, the new demo video that I invested heavily into, websites, client lists, Forbes, Inc., Harvard Business Review, right? I feel like those people have told me that I should maybe have a little bit of confidence in raising my fee. Plus, my coaches are like, yo, double your fee, double it again. Come on now, you're absolutely worth way more than this. Clients have told me, we would have paid you way more. I had a client once. It was at the time the highest I've ever charged, the most I've ever gotten for a gig. And she had been drinking some wine at the event after I had spoken. And that's what she said. We would have paid you way more. All right, so let's look at what you should charge. Let's get down to the nitty gritty of this and let's get into that process. Now, there is so much that you can do to up your perceived value. And that is how you raise the number. It's not just you change the number that you say, it's you change and you position and you frame the value that you bring to an event. There's two kinds of value you can add to an event. You can add content value. I can teach you something that is going to add to your bottom line. I can solve business problems for you. I can solve people problems. I can solve process problems. I can solve profit problems for you. I have the secret sauce that you need and it's worth a lot of money. Or you can solve event problems. For a lot of years, I was out there solving event problems. Hey, you got a boring event. Hey, you got a slot after lunch where people are going to be in food coma. Bring in the ex-entertainer magician who can spice up the vibe, right? Who can add some energy and some intrigue to the event. Maybe even draw some attention to your event through some, hype videos and things like that to maybe put some butts in seats as well, letting people know, hey, we're doing something a little different this year and we're going to have fun. Why don't you come to our event? So, putting butts in seats is certainly a big event problem. Filling time slots is, of course, a big event problem, but doing so in a way that is engaging for an audience that is distracted, right? Those are event problems that you can solve. Then you've got to communicate how you solve these problems and that you solve these problems. So here's my process, right? The inquiry comes in. Now, pause, hold on a second, Tim. How did you make the inquiry come in? Well, I will tell you this. There's lots of ways to get inquiries to come to you, but think of the positioning. if you are knocking on doors and saying, hey, I want to speak for your organization, please let me speak, how do you think that's going to impact your fee versus them coming to you and saying, like yesterday's lead that I was having a conversation with was saying things like, oh, really hope we can afford to bring you in. Like, we really hope we can make this work. And they reached out to me, right? So the positioning is a huge part of the game. So first step, get leads to come to you. Beyond the scope of this video, we only have 10 or so minutes in a video like this. But anyway, so you get the lead to come to you. Then you get them on a phone call. They don't just say, well, they do say, what can you do for us? What are your topics and how much do you charge? How long are your presentations? How much do you charge? Are you available for this date? And how much do you charge? You're not just going to answer that question. You're going to say, I'd love to get you that information. Let's hop on a call so that I can make sure it's an accurate quote. So I get them on the phone and I ask lots of questions. In the book, we go through, all of the questions that you want to ask and how to find out what their pain points are and basically sell without selling, to say, hey, look, this is the challenge that you're having. I can absolutely help scratch that itch. Why don't I send you a proposal with some options? You guys are getting some meat today. Woo, like and subscribe this video. Like this video and subscribe to this channel. Make sure you hit the bell as well, because we do bring the heat every single day. All right. So we close them on sending them a proposal. Basically, say, I'm going to get you the information that you requested. Is that okay? There's also some other sales tactics and techniques that, again, this is not about setting fees, so we'll skip that. But then you send them a pile of goodies. You send them a proposal, but you also send them social proof and testimonials. You also send them a cover letter. You also send them value, like 7 ways to pack your event. You also, send them your demo video, and you send them what they need to turn around and sell you to the speaker selection committee. All right, we call that the shock and awe package. Gosh, there's all kinds of ideas of what to send and what to include in a shock and awe package. And then you include the actual proposal. Now, the proposal and the fee structure, you see how all of this adds up. All of this adds up to being able to raise your fees because you're articulating and communicating more value. You're not just a speaker. I said this yesterday to both of my lead calls. I said, listen, I'm not interested in just being a speaker. I would love to partner with you. I see myself as a partner with every event that I work with to make sure that it's absolutely a home run and checks all the boxes that you want checked. So when you become a partner for an event and not just a speaker, you're not going to be compared to other speakers. If they don't want a speaker, but they want Tim David, I'm not going to be compared to other speakers. So it all adds up and it's all really, really important. Now, what I don't do ever is say, what's your budget? I don't ever want to ask their budget and then just charge whatever they have. That's unethical, right? Rather, I will have a conversation to help suss out, and there's ways to kind of find what their budget might be. And then I'm going to offer pieces from my menu. Okay, and this is really important. I don't just do a speech. I have a whole menu of ways that I can add value to events. So I'll pick and choose from that menu and I'll put together a package. I'll put together a package of packages. It'll be a small, a medium, and a large. And that large package is the one that I don't think they'll say yes to. It's the Hail Mary. It is the one that if they do say yes, I will be excited enough to really over deliver because that dollar amount just scares the hell out of me. It's a huge dollar amount. And I never would have thought to even ask that had I not done so in the past and stretched my my mindset, my beliefs about what the value is for events. So small, medium, and large casts a nice wide net. For example, the book talks about a small might be $997, a medium might be $4,500, and a large might be $7,500, right? That's for a newbie speaker. And then, you're casting a net. You're not too expensive or too cheap, because if you quote and hope, if you throw out a number and it's too low or it's too high, yes, it can be too low, right? The client can look at that number and be like, are you serious? Are you 2,500? That's it? Must not be very good. It happens all the time, right? Oh gosh, we have budget for more. We got to use that budget or we won't get it next year. We've got to spend $10,000 on a speaker. I have clients who have had that experience where they say, 7,500, can we make it 10? What can we do to make it 10? Can you throw in some books? Can we make it 10, please? So that is how you versus that is a strategy for setting and getting higher fees is small, medium, and large. Now, what is small, what is medium, what is large? Again, that depends on your positioning. That depends on the kind of event. I have a little chart here that says, hey, is it a local event? Is it like a full day seminar or a workshop where you're doing a training on site or off site? Is it a regional or national association event or a breakout session, or are you doing like main stage keynote or annual meeting for a company and you're the big deal? So again, those are the types of events and the fees will vary on that. And then what about the type of speaker, right? If it's just a friend of a friend and they're kind of like, hey, we could bring you into our event. We'll do you a solid. Yeah, what do you charge? And you come out with $20,000, they're going to be like, yo, slow your roll. I thought we were friends. So again, that is a big difference maker, as well as how you are seen and how you are positioned. Are you seen as a local yokel? Are you seen as a trainer who can teach some skills? Are you seen just as a motivational speaker who can rile the troops? Are you seen as a thought leader who has value to add to the conversation? Or maybe even seen as a celebrity? That is how you get your fees through the roof. I consider myself and view myself in the thought leadership category. That is why I do things that thought leaders do. I write books. I put out content on the internet. I lead the thoughts. I have the conversations. And so I recommend, in terms of corporate keynote speaking, high fees, that's how you do it, right? You position yourself, you engage in the conversation properly, and then you quote a net. You cast a net of quotes. My exact process is detailed in my Inquiry to Income program. Literally everything, the moment an inquiry comes in, all the way through closing that deal. Step by step by step, samples, examples, emails, scripts, a whole section on the mindset and upping your inner game so that you can quote fees with a straight face. It is in the description below. It is our medium offer for today. Do you see what I'm doing here? Small, medium, large. I even have a free option below small. I even have a not effing around option below, above the large, or below, I guess, technically, as it appears on the page. So yeah, this is practicing what I preach and preaching what I practice, baby. And we do this every single day. Make sure you subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Speak soon.